Hello and welcome to ADHD, spilling the tea, like literally. I am Donna and I am owner and all the things of Unravel Tea. I drink a lot of tea.
And I'm Sarah, coffee enthusiast, later turned tea enthusiast. I'm Wheelie Mama. I'm an empowerment mentor, author, speaker, writer, and disabled mum to three incredible little humans. So this is going to be a real insight into both of our, would you say spicy brains, but very unique, but very scarily similar spicy brains. Yeah, it's going to be interesting.
A friend that I hadn't seen for like probably 14 years or so came down from Brighton to see us when we were in London, and we ended up sitting like in the foyer of the hotel all night drinking tea and coffee and just catching up on literally the last 15 years. So that's why I'm flipping exhausted now. And then I had to work as well, like with no sleep. So yeah, fun times.
Coffee fueled.
I know, of course, then that's why I was dehydrated, because coffee dehydrates. Then I was wondering why my tongue was stuck to the roof of my mouth that morning. I was like, the morning furry tongue, you know what I mean? So I was sitting there going, I need to brush my teeth, like, right now, like, right this second. Yeah, it was pretty grim.
I have the issue of I can't sleep if I haven't brushed my teeth. I have to get up, and sometimes my brain wakes me up if I have not brushed my teeth, and I have to get up and brush my teeth, or else I can't sleep.
Yeah, it's horrendous.
But sometimes my brain is like, it's too cold outside. It can't outside. I make it sound like I'm sleeping outside. And it's too cold out of bed. I can't get up. It's too cold, and I'll lie there for an hour arguing with myself because it's too cold, but I can't sleep because I haven't brushed my teeth.
Brilliant. Oh, I love it. Yeah, that's I genuinely think it's these type of things that are like the struggles that we have in our brain that no one talks about, but that is actually it's so relatable and so reassuring when you go, oh my God, I'm not the only one who does this. Like, it's so like, yeah.
So, Sarah,
Yeah.
what's on your mind and what's in your cup today?
What's on my mind? How horrendous the mind, body, and soul can feel with just 3 hours sleep in 48 hours. That's not a vibe I do not recommend in any way, shape, or form. But sometimes, in some circumstances, it's just worth it. You just gotta power through. What's in my cup? Still more cordial to try and hydrate and come back from my current crisp-like status. It's drier than the Sahara Desert over here right now. So yeah, trying to get some life back into myself.
Be a rehydrated potato.
And also being away completely derailed me because I didn't get to have my usual little tea ritual, and that completely dysregulated me. And
Did you not this time then?
I should have. I intended to, and I should have. However, it was such a surreal set of circumstances and such an alien environment. I wasn't sitting on Mars. I was in a hotel, but like being so sleep deprived as I was, and being in the circumstances with like such heightened emotions because I catching up with a friend that I hadn't seen for over a decade. I don't even think I would have had the presence of mind to go and look for a kettle. And I've just said that, and I realize how hideous and ridiculous it is because there was one in my room. So yeah, scratch that. But yeah, I just didn't. I didn't, and I should have.
Sometimes you don't connect the dots, and then you're like, and then the day afterwards, you're like, oh wait a minute, there was a kettle in my room. Oh well.
Yeah, that's literally the thought process that I've just gone on, trying to justify how even if I had brought the tea, I wouldn't have been able to drink the tea, and then realizing that that was rubbish. So yeah, the end.
Okay, thank you, goodbye.
Literally, like, yeah. And that also shows the power of the brain to actually create fake justification for something that isn't even a thing. But yeah, anyway, as you were, nothing to see here. Yes, Donna, what's in your cup and what's on your mind?
It's a little bit of an experiment.
Ooh, love it.
It kind of looks a bit like pond water. Okay,
It looks
so
like pond water. Oh,
context,
yeah,
context, right? It's actually magnolia flowers because
God, my head went straight to like crown paint there when you said that.
no, not bits of paint.
Whoa, she's drinking like.
Before elderflower season, the magnolia comes out. And we
Okay.
actually, it does grow here. I found a place that's got magnolia trees. But I also had heard about having dried magnolia leaves that are fermented. Now, I left them and they turned to different colors. This is an experiment for me. Another part of this is I made magnolia kombucha and it was really nice. So you can eat the magnolia petals and they taste a little bit gingery, a little bit peppery, and you can actually chop them up, put them through salad and things like that. And they're really nice. They just give a nice fresh taste. It's been sitting here since like March, April time.
Oh my God, this is like live happening as we speak?
It's okay. It's inoffensive.
Well, if this episode gets cut very short, we'll know that Donna has succumbed to the fermented magnolia. Well, that was not the answer I was expecting when I asked you what's in your cup. A science experiment.
You will discover more experiments probably as we go along.
Speaking of experiments or new things or interesting things, I feel the need to ask you about the kombucha adventures and like how that all started and
Well, started. Wow, that's going back a long time. It started in 2019, I think it was. Yeah, I was a little bit scared at first because it's like a living beastie, and I wanted to be a nice like kombucha caretaker, but it's so easy to do, and it's actually really hard to get wrong unless you ignore it and don't feed it. But yeah, I love making like micro batches. I make little experiments like the magnolia one, which was really, really nice. Through my time of making the kombucha for myself, and I've got two big like 7-liter jars, and I've got smaller jars that I make smaller batches in, and I've played with ratios of various things like sugar and tea and all the other things. I kind of figured out how to do things best for the water that we have, because when you make it with different water, it does change things a little bit, because the water here is very soft, so we don't have chlorine in our water. Our water supply here, at least. Maybe in different parts of Scotland you would, but not here, which is interesting because whenever I turn the tap on somewhere else, I'm hit with that chlorine smell.
yeah, I thought that was just like a standard thing that like just as we talked about our brains, like I didn't realize that it was different in other places. Like
yeah.
That's I have a real strong aversion to drinking tap water. Like I cannot do it. I can make tea and coffee with it and boil it and all that there, but I just can't drink. Hence why I frequently ended up chronically dehydrated. But yeah, I just have a real issue with it.
But yeah, kombucha. Look at me taking things back on track. You proud of me?
Yeah, go for it.
It's been an interesting journey. I sometimes forget about him, but I've not forgotten about him for long. I kind of felt a calling to create a course with it. And I did try and launch it, but then I didn't tell people about it. I'm so bad at about not telling people about things.
That's why I'm trying to pull the information out of you currently. Yeah.
I forgot to tell people about it, but the whole thing was, I mean, I've seen all these courses online or even in person. You go along and it's fantastic because it's such a nice day and you get to meet nice people and ask the questions of the people, and you get to go home with your SCOBY in the jar and all this stuff. But what do you do afterwards? And I've heard a lot of people going, oh yeah, we had this, but then things got scary or something weird happened. I wasn't sure about it. So to be safe, I just put it in the compost or something. I kind of created this framework that was like a 4-week, I think it is, course. But then I launched it and forgot to tell people.
But you're telling people about it now.
Yes, thanks.
Like, I love that what you said, like about you have the great experience and you go home with a thing and then you're like, oh, it's I kind of related to like having a baby, and then you take it home from hospital, you're like, oh, gotta keep this thing alive. Whoops, didn't make this through. Similar vibe. I need to make a public confession to you. Where you got me on the whole tea thing, the kombucha, I can't get involved. And it is exactly what you said. I'm like, this is a living thing. I can't ingest this. I've tried, and I just can't. I cannot get my head around ingesting a living thing. And I know that everything, essentially, all plants, all of that. So there's my confession. I feel so much lighter now.
It's not for everybody, but that's okay. I really enjoy it. I love playing around with the parameters. I love, seeing what you can actually get out of it. Like a lot of the kombucha that you buy, I could go into this and go on a rant. I'm not going
Yeah,
to.
please do.
Not going to.
Do. It's important. It's important.
Okay, not.
There's people probably wasting money on stuff that
Yeah.
and they don't realize they're wasting money. So you need to educate and inform.
It's so frustrating because, and I don't think this is any fault of people who create kombucha, but there's so many laws and everything like that around fermented foods. And you can't have a certain amount of alcohol in it. You need to have license if you're over a certain amount of alcohol. There's so many things that it kind of comes under, and obviously the health and safety aspects of it, because obviously it's bacteria and yeast, and I understand why people create it the way they do, but well, most of it's pasteurized, so you don't have all these living kind of things in it. But some companies actually add them afterwards. But if you have a really high percentage of tea and the active kind of molecules in that create the kombucha, it actually creates more of the alcohol as well. Then more, I mean, it's a living product, so it constantly continues to ferment. It will ferment less if you've got it in the fridge at controlled temperature, but it will continue to ferment. Yeah, there's a lot of problems. I would never ever want to have a kombucha business after seeing all the hoops you need to jump through. And again, I understand, but creating it yourself, you can make it how you want it. So you can make it as strong as you want, you can make it as sharp as you want, as sweet as you want, anything you can change, basically anything in it. And I experiment a lot with like teas and obviously things in tea, so like adding the magnolia. There's no chemicals or anything like that in that, it's just the magnolia petals. And at the moment I've actually got another one that's got fresh tea flowers in it.
You're like the Willy Wonka of tea. Love it.
So I'm quite excited about that. I was pondering launching it again, but so I will probably be putting a pin in it until next year, and maybe I'll try and actually remember to tell people about it so they know it's there. Because I run Unravel Tea, I have a product-based business on the run up to Christmas.
Just so we have it for posterity, I'm calling self-sabotage. I get where you're coming from, and I get the whole tea run up to Christmas. I get that logic, but I'm also calling self-sabotage. So listeners, if she hasn't launched it like mid to late January, come back and call her out on it, please. Me sitting here like I've got my shit together and I have lots of things that I still need to do and launch and tell people about, but I haven't. But it's easier to sit and call you out than it is to actually own my own stuff.
That's okay. Just give me a list and I'll hold you accountable as well.
Yeah, that's true. That's also how we support each other a lot, because we can clearly see what the other is avoiding and go, with love, you need to do this. Today we've talked about kombucha, science experiments, how Donna is the Willy Wonka of tea.
Crisps.
Yes, and how I still remain a dehydrated crisp.
Okay, you'll get there. You'll get there. But thank you so much for listening, and yeah, if you could subscribe and if you can leave a review on your favorite platform, that would help us reach more people. If you have any suggestions of topics you want us to chat about, or feedback or anything like that, let us know. You can find us on Instagram at ADHD the podcast and on Threads at ADHD the podcast. Thank you so much for listening.
Join us next time as we discuss what's on our mind and what's in our cup. Donna, do you want to
No.
No.
No, I don't want to do anymore. I'm finished. Okay, see ya.